It is time for the latest edition of Overreaction Monday, brought to you by PayPal, the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL. All right, Chris Brockman,
hey, Rich,
good
what's
to
up,
see
man?
you here
Great
again.
to see
Look
you.
at us doing this a few
Look
weeks
at
in
us,
a row in
man.
May.
I know, right?
That's what happens when you've got the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL
All right.
on board.
You know it.
We have another game that's been announced just in advance of this.
I did see that.
Did you see that?
I saw that this morning.
Sunday, first Sunday night of the
Sunday
season.
night.
The Giants and the Cowboys
Here
once
we go.
again having at
Yeah,
it
right?
on NBC.
That's got to be the most often or recurring Sunday night.
It is indeed.
Sunday night game, right?
For
Giants,
sure,
Cowboys.
yeah. They, I can't wait for Odell Beckham to beat him.
You think he's coming back?
By the way, if that happens, we're replaying this. If not,
Man, forget you have.
hit it. Just go.
That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, Chris Brockman, what do you have over there,
Okay,
sir?
Rich, I'm mining all the news and information that's out there for some takes, what I can talk about on this program.
Okay.
And here's what I got. I think I want to start here because we've been talking about it, and it's certainly a compelling issue and a competition that I think is going on, but that doesn't need to be. I think the Browns should just name Shedeur Sanders QB1 right now.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Why?
Here's what I think. I think if you talk to fans and you're thinking about vibes,
The Miz?
I think the Miz speaks for a lot of what Cleveland Brown fans think and feel about this team and moving forward. I don't think any of them want to see Deshaun Watson play quarterback anymore. It was a failed experiment. They took a gigantic swing. I kind of respect and commend ownership and front office for going for it.
Okay.
You couldn't have anticipated what was going to happen with his legal issues and all of that stuff.
I'll push back on that.
Okay, but still, they went for it,
Yes.
and it failed, okay?
Yes.
Now you got a guy who's high vibes, has a lot to prove, and a great pedigree, showed some flashes last year.
Yes.
Let's just give him the gig and see what we got.
If you are the owner of the Cleveland Browns, congratulations. Your name is Chris Haslam.
Love it.
If you have already poured all of these resources into Deshaun Watson, actual capital, actual blood, sweat, and tears, actual, as you said, full-on support for a guy that gets suspended 11 games when you just immediately hire him. And if you do all of that, and then he gets hurt over and over again, and you have one more year left just to see what's going down with him. And you did see what happened last year with Shedeur, and there was some excitement, and there's some jerseys sold, and there are fans who are very excited. And you were taking it all in. Do you just say, I'm going for the dog pounds, love, and affection? Or do you say, I've got one more year left with this guy, one more year left to see what's the what? And it's entirely possible in this league where guys play deep into their 30s and into their early 40s, and they're particularly still very good, that I can do it. It's entirely possible that this guy shows up and is the Deshaun Watson that I always wanted for my team. That's why I took the big swing. You would go for Shedeur Sanders still.
Yeah, here's the thing. Jimmy Haslam is a businnesman.
Uh-huh.
This is a
right.
This
He's
is
poured a lot of money. He's already put the money in.
Businessman,
the money's in. He's pot committed.
Yeah, no, but you respect when you got a losing hand and a losing bet and a losing investment.
Got to know when to fold him.
Got to know when to cut your losses and just get out. Just get out. And he's a guy, the fan base already has tepid feelings about him as an owner and the ownership group to begin with. So why not win back some of that good faith by just saying, look, I see how the community and the fan base rallies behind Shedeur and wants him to succeed. And you mentioned the jerseys and everyone's excited.
Right.
He's got the rookies around him like Fannin and Judkins and all these exciting young players.
Indeed.
And they had a great draft again, second year in a row. Let's just roll with this guy.
What about the head coach? What if the coach wants Deshaun Watson?
Tough.
I understand this debate that you're sparking to start our program here.
And I think if you just do it now, you avoid all the preseason hula-baloo. You get him all the number one first team reps through all the mini camps and all the offseason stuff, and you just go for it. Shedor's our guy. He's the face of the franchise. Do it now.
I think Deshaun Watson's the week 1 starter. And everything that I said, I firmly believe to my core because I cape for Shedor every single time that I possibly can.
I know. That's why I thought you might be on board with
this. I understand that he's got a certain skill set that we saw last year that's flashed in a way that Dylan Gabriel didn't, and that the head coach last year potentially wasn't terribly into him. We'll find out if that moment when he walked into Todd Monken's office where he basically, insinuated, I loved you in this draft. I loved you, watching your film, even though obviously you could say that when you were the offensive coordinator for Lamar Jackson, and you could just admire from afar, just looking at film without it even thinking for a split second we're drafting him. They're never going to name him number 1 right now. You're a new head coach. You're going to create competition. You're going to see how it looks. You're going to see how the team reacts. You're going to see how the locker room responds, yada, yada, yada. This is just an overreaction, but I understand what you're trying to start the show
Deshaun
with.
Watson might still have some good years left in him, and he might still get his career going. Let him do it somewhere else.
What else you got?
All right. We talked last week, was it Albert, talking about the Vikings quarterback competition?
Yes, sir.
It looks like we are really going to have a full-out competition.
Okay.
You're not buying what everyone's saying, are you?
Which is what?
That there is going to be a full-on competition between these two guys.
Okay.
I think this is the single most interesting storyline between now and week 1. What's going to happen in Minnesota with this position? Because they completely whiffed with letting Sam Darnold go and the J.J. McCarthy stuff. But if they still believe in the kid, then we got to take them at their word. And Kyler Murray, I'm not saying this is last chance saloon for Kyler Murray, but this is a major, major opportunity. And I think what's going to happen between these two guys and where it stands in the league and how this could affect the NFC North, number 1 storyline going
between now and week 1.
Between now and week 1.
I'm going to say this is, it's very rare that you go. I understand we're here in the middle of May before the schedule's even released, and we're waiting on Rodgers to say yes.
But we know that
he's hanging in Pittsburgh as if he's
meeting
just
with
like
the team.
Just checking on the Primanti brothers. Is that what he's?
I mean, he could go the Italian spot we hit.
Honestly, don't even understand it.
Is he seeing a concert?
Is he going to Alla Familia? Is that what he's saying for
That's
that?
what I'm saying. Yeah,
hey, man, that cacio pepe that they put in the cheese wheel.
They'll fill up on the pasta.
They put the pasta right in the cheese wheel there.
Fill up. It's delicious.
I understand that you're going for a topic about what we in the media talk about, as if this is the most interesting storyline between now and week 1. Quarterback controversies or competitions are always of interest. Mm-hmm. Certainly when they involve a former number 1 overall pick now bounced to his new team for the first time, and a former first-round draft choice whose drafting led to Sam Darnold's ascension and then departure. And he then wins a Super Bowl, and now there's a competition between McCarthy and Kyler Murray, and there is a Super Bowl ready offense. Otherwise, if the offensive line can get built up, let's not forget J.J. McCarthy didn't just poop in his helmet or down his leg the entire time. He won a few games, and as a matter of fact, was not protected. So, I understand that this is a shiny object for you, and you could be right. But there is a sleeper storyline that is asleep now. Is Max Crosby not going anywhere?
You still think that's
if Max
bigger
Crosby
than a quarterback
goes,
competition?
No, if Max Crosby is available, and this is Micah Parsons 2026, top-notch pass rusher available. I'm not saying Crosby's going to be dressed in his tracksuit lying on a training table during
training camp?
That was during an actual preseason game, if you remember.
No, yeah, that's true.
And there's not going to be a conversation about Mark Davis's interpretation of a handshake. I mean, it's not going to be that off the rails. I'm just saying the apple to apple here is top-notch pass rusher who can instantly turbocharge a Super Bowl run. So if he's staying put, you're right. If he's not, let's look over that steering wheel and say that would be a conversation throughout a lot of July and August. A lot. There's your A.J. Brown storyline, too, that's coming up.
Yeah, but again, same thing with Rodgers. We just expect that to be almost like a done deal. That
it's also just, I'll just throw this out there. As you know, we haven't trafficked in this lane. Whatever the heck's happening with the Patriots head coach, Vrabel, and, in the tabloid headlines that could potentially spin a different news cycle with A.J. Brown being acquired at the same time. In New England, training camp opens. I'm just talking about what the media would churn on. Mm-hmm. This is definitely one thing that would be out there. And just to cycle back also to your first topic, if the Browns preseason quarterback controversy or carousel or competition's going down, but this is I'll say this is not an overreaction. Okay. I'm just trying to sound it out for you. What else you got?
Talk it out. More quarterback stuff. We love, like you said, redemption stories, arcs, changing the narrative on your career.
Yes, sir.
Also, you got a situation here in Indianapolis where we don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be ready for Week 1.
Okay.
The Colts should just start Anthony Richardson until Daniel Jones is 100%.
I'll tell you, this guy's gone. This guy's as good as gone. This guy's as good as gone.
Why wasn't he moved before the draft?
His eye might not be healthy.
Still.
Yeah.
Still.
I'm hearing some things that he's still battling back from that.
Wow. No way.
I mean, who knows what you hear at a combine, what you hear afterwards too. But he wants out. The Colts are done. They would rather start, I think, Riley Leonard at this point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think this guy, I just still think Anthony Richardson still has some football in him.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
Didn't play a lot in college, showed a lot of flashes when he got out there. When he's fully healthy, there's no one really like him in the league in terms of arm strength, arm talent, the way he can run the football, and a weapon out of the backfield. I still think, if you have an opportunity to use him and he can come out and play good football, keep things afloat,
I hear you.
Kind of like Justin Fields did for the Steelers a few years ago until Daniel Jones is back.
None of what you said is wrong. And in this league where, 27, 28, 30, 31-year-old quarterbacks keep getting second, third, fourth, fifth chances, we just saw a quarterback on team number 5 win a Super Bowl, and how long it takes quarterbacks to develop. But the Colts are not on Anthony Richardson time right now. And I think Daniel Jones is starting Week 1. Sounds like he's going to be coming back. Everybody believes it there. Okay. I just think Anthony Richardson is as good as gone. But he just isn't yet for various reasons. I'm completely unfamiliar with what the exact reasons are. But there's a reason why he hasn't been traded yet. And there's a reason why no one acquired him. And I don't have the exact answer yet, but I understand why you'd bring this up, but this is an overreaction.
Okay.
What else you got?
More quarterback stuff. Seeing some.
By the way, I sounded like an information person there.
Yeah, that was nice. You were
good as gone.
I felt like you were.
This is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
All the words, all the couching words.
The Colts have plans to start Daniel Jones.
Are you going to be on the Insiders later today?
That Anthony Richardson is expected to be somewhere else.
Plans.
I didn't even go in that direction. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, but who knows what's true or not.
Did you see the Chargers sign David Njoku this morning?
I did. I like that move. Him and Oronde Gadsden Jr. and Ladidi and Quentin Johnston and Trey Harris and Omarion Hampton, Mike McDaniel, and Justin Herbert and Keaton Mitchell and
healthy line.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
let's go. What else? What do you got over there?
They're
gonna win. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. What do you got? How deep are you going on the Chargers here?
Justin Herbert,
because don't don't mess with my Jim Harbaugh love emotion.
No, of course not.
Okay, what do you got?
Of course not.
Justin Herbert.
I'm doing this about the
Oh,
player.
you're going Herbert. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Justin Herbert will deserve his MVP votes this year and finish in the top 3.
Interesting that you say he didn't deserve his MVP vote last year.
That's not what I said. I said he will deserve his votes this year.
Right, meaning in his previous year where he got a vote, he didn't deserve it.
Well, I don't know.
And that's the way you also said it. Will deserve his MVP votes this year.
Oh, was there some inflection and some tone?
Oh, there was inflection.
Oh, interesting.
There was tone.
Oh, interesting.
You were inflecting. You were toning.
Well,
so
deserve.
but you see why I'm grabbing onto that portion of your.
I don't get it. I'm just trying to talk about Justin Herbert and how
subject heading
much he will earn these MVP votes.
I think this is not an overreaction, but let's just give you the answer you're looking for here and linger on what I'm trying to latch onto is that you think that was it Sam Monson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's great. I'm not disparaging. I'm not disparaging Sam at all.
I don't disparage. You disparage me.
Wow.
With my vote, as if I was the last one, as if I put in my vote last. And it's like,
did you, or were you early?
I put my votes in.
Oh, you were early. Okay.
Yeah, man. As if they got down to my last vote, and it was 24-24, and it was May, and it was Stafford, and there's one vote left. Oh, let's see it's Rich Eisen's vote. Let's see who he votes.
Exactly.
And it's Stafford. So Matthew Stafford is the most valuable player of the NFL.
I'm not saying
and
any of
that
this.
was me.
I
it
don't
was
wanna
my
I don't want to
doing.
linger.
You and my patriot-loving son Cooper.
This is about Justin
put
Herbert.
it at my feet all the time that I was the deciding vote. It wasn't anyone else.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of the other 24 people who voted for Matthew Stafford whose vote was counted last.
Nope. It was you.
So you always say that. So you would imply that Herbert deserved his vote last year, and therefore it was my fault. And I keep saying, vote. If you want to point a finger at anybody, point it at the guy.
I'm not pointing any fingers.
Turned down the clear
I'm not pointing any fingers.
job that anybody who had a vote in last year's MVP race had to do. It was a clear.
This is not about last year's MVP
ballot
vote.
initiative on one of the two guys.
No, I'm talking about
All
this
right.
year, 2026.
He will deserve his MVP
Justin
votes
Herbert.
this year and finish top 3. That is not an exaggeration or an overreaction, sir.
Okay.
I am with you. All right.
I think it's going to be nice.
PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, by the way, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, they're covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. The account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates. Second half of Overreaction Monday.
Rich
You're in the top
Eisen.
half
Here we
of May
go.
2026.
Let's get to it.
What do you got?
Rich, who was a very happy man last week?
Ooh.
Breece Hall was a very happy
he got his
man.
3-year deal.
He had the franchise tag slapped on him, was not happy.
Yeah.
Saw some other running backs getting paid in free agency. Hey, what gives? Got his deal, got paid.
Awesome.
And he's going to finish in the top 3 in rushing yards this year.
Oh, boy.
We are going to finally
He had a great
see...
year when it was a total disaster.
Yeah.
You know what's not a disaster,
He's a
though?
good player,
The Jets' offensive line is not.
No, I don't think so.
That's what Joe Douglas kept hitting before he, got hit himself.
Yeah, hit the bricks.
Although Elijah Vera Tucker's now a Patriot.
He's now a Patriot.
Which hurts.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't stay healthy anyway.
3 in rushing yards. That means Geno Smith's going to throw it around, so Hall will have some rushing. I mean, last year, it was so bad. It can't be any worse, and he did so well last year. Top 3 is a tall order.
Top 3.
Do you know what that number was last year?
Is about well, James Cook had a hair over 1,600 yards.
I'm going to look this up. You keep
it's
dancing.
I got to expect top 3 is probably in that.
Hold on a minute.
1,450.
I'm going to find this out, man.
1,500 yards, something like that. There wasn't a big rushing total number. We saw Saquon get 2,000 and Derrick Henry get to 1,900.
Jonathan Taylor had
2 years ago.
1,585 yards. That was third. And
okay, great.
Breece Hall, where did he wind up?
So you just got to get around that 1,600 number.
Breece Hall was 1,065. So he's got to get about 500 more rush yards.
Did he play all the games? Did he play every game last year?
He played all games but one.
Okay.
So this is an overreaction.
Okay.
Good one, though. I appreciate it.
Motivated by cash?
Dude, I don't.
They got all the young players, good offense,
for me to make
maybe.
a prediction on the Jets offense right now.
Well, it's May 11th.
Does Russell Wilson back up Geno?
Russell Wilson is the backup, yeah.
Is that going to happen, you think? I think he should take the CBS job if it's offered to him. I know he wants to keep playing. I know.
He wants to keep playing.
He's gonna be really good.
Yeah, the TV will always be there. Keep playing as long as you can.
I don't know.
Really?
A network gig right on the desk. I don't know, man. Those don't come around too often.
True.
Here we go.
That's right.
Thank
you, Mike Del Tufo, dropping drops on Overreaction Monday.
Love it.
Presented by PayPal. Overreaction. What else you got?
Overreaction.
Nice try, though.
All right. Last year, this team was on the doorstep of the Super Bowl. Maybe a bad break, and they maybe even are in the game.
Denver.
The Denver Broncos are the team to beat in the AFC for 2026.
This is not an overreaction.
Jalen Waddle gets added.
This is not an overreaction at all.
I guess I'm the only thing that would give me pause is Bo Nix's foot. Is he really back 100%?
Over the weekend, Sean Payton said he's expected to be out on the field. It's for some action in June and will be full go by July.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm not concerned about his ankle.
RJ Harvey coming on.
Dude, the guy doesn't throw interceptions. He just doesn't. He doesn't.
Evan Ingram,
he's very inconsistent,
unlocked?
Like 1 week where he's just.
He looks like a world beater.
I know, and then the next week he does not.
Yeah.
But then the defense says the weeks that he's not a world beater, we're still beating the world anyway.
We got you.
Yeah, dude.
Number one AFC team heading into 2026.
I mean, but you could put the Bills there because obviously the Bills believe they were a simultaneous catch away from winning that game.
True.
And by the way, had the Bills won that game, the AFC title game would have been in the middle of a blizzard.
In New England.
It was, I think, like a foot of snow fell that day in New England. So
the Bills got a new stadium.
You could go the Ravens are going to be back in the mix. Chiefs are going to be back in the mix.
Got to prove
You just talked about the Chargers. If Justin Herbert's top 3 in the MVP,
I think AFC West is obviously going to be stacked again this year.
The South will rise again.
The South?
Why not? What do you mean?
The South on either side doesn't ever really blow my socks off.
You could say that every year.
Yeah.
Every time.
And they got to prove it.
Uh-huh.
The South is the ultimate prove it divisions.
Okay. Yeah, this is not an overreaction by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. It's not an overreaction. They hosted the AFC Championship game last year with their backup quarterback, and all they needed was just some second half points that Mother Nature helped prevent.
But
first
I'm saying
the injury gods got him, then the weather gods got him, and they still damn near won the game. All they had to, obviously, I don't know how many times Sean Payton's wondering about that decision he made to go for it instead of getting the field goal. But he also didn't think that, that Stidham would just give the ball away deep in his own end either.
I could have went Bills. I could have went Pats. I could have.
I
went
understand.
Ravens.
These are all possibles. But I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, Rich.
Two more.
I said 2 more.
Right.
NFL schedule release this week.
Yes, sir.
Thursday, right? Thursday. NFL season kickoff game is going to be Bears Seahawks, and that's going to be an NFC title game preview.
I think it will be Bears Seahawks. As you know, we've been
churning
over.
We've been trying to figure
what will be.
out. Yeah.
It will not be a division game. Number one.
No, because 2 of those teams are going to be
playing each other in Melbourne.
Yeah, Australia.
Right. So the division game that would only be available for the Seahawks would be Arizona, and they're not starting the season there, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I do believe the Patriots also play.
Patriots do play the Seahawks this year.
And I just don't think they're going to do a Super Bowl
run back.
I just don't think they're going to do that. Bears Seahawks, which would have been the NFC Championship game, had the Bears won in overtime and not turn the ball over in overtime to the Rams. And the Bears being incredibly successful and highly popular in the first year of Ben Johnson's tenure in Chicago makes this a no-brainer, I think. I think this is absolutely the Thursday night. By the way, Rams, Niners to start the season in Melbourne on a Wednesday. And then Thursday being this game, Seattle and Chicago, would be just stupid crazy, just stupid nuts. So, yeah, there's that. And then Giants and the Cowboys. But an NFC title game preview, that's an overreaction, pal.
No, really?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Bears are going to be the hot pick, I think, in the NFC this year.
I think they will be, but we need to see them do it again.
Caleb MVP.
We need
to
see them do it again, don't we?
I think.
We need to see them do it again.
I think they're primed, but I don't know why they wouldn't be back.
All right. And
you're going to take them. You're going to take them to win the North again.
Let's do what's more likely. This is a Super Bowl preview, or neither of them make it.
Ooh, NFC title preview, or neither make it.
Or neither make it. What's more likely?
Ooh.
You know how this works, dude. You know how it works. Teams that make the playoffs one year don't make it at all, and so they're going to both get as far as last year.
I'm going to say this is a title game preview.
Okay,
I'm sticking
all right.
with. I'm sticking with it.
I'll say this is an overreaction.
I'm sticking with it.
Okay, I'll say this is an overreaction.
Rich Eisen, last one.
Okay,
and this is an Overreaction Monday podcast first.
What is it? What do you got?
I got a top 5. Hit my music.
Oh wow!
High five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Brockman's top 5.
Oh my goodness! What the hell was that?
That was the insert.
Is this a takeover?
I got a top 5.
So do I? How do you?
You're going to react to each of my top 5.
Okay.
Okay.
And you actually thought about this.
I did.
I'm very impressed.
I did. Well, it's May 11th.
Okay.
And,
No, it's great.
Yeah, the news and information out there. Not a lot happening.
Got it.
You hate this topic. Top 5 coaches on the hot seat for 2026.
Okay.
Number 5, Aaron Glenn. Rich Eisen, the Jets are primed to cash in 2027.
I agree.
And they have done a good job in the draft, but if they're, again, something scuttles and Geno Smith gets injured or performs how he did with Vegas last year, and they're 4-13, are you going to let a new coach come in here with all them draft picks and a new quarterback and et cetera, et cetera?
If you're going to draft a new quarterback with, say, the top pick or top 5, and, Woody has seen the defense that he essentially mandated Aaron Glenn coach on his own as the coordinator. And if that doesn't perform well and Frank Reich is brought in and the offense doesn't fire, and, Aaron Glenn could be 2 and done in New York with an owner that, as you know, has been prone to surprise by firing people earlier than they deserve or expect.
Agreed.
All right. That's 5.
That's 5. Number 5. Number 4.
Uh-huh.
Good friend of ours.
That's not an overreaction. Todd Bowles.
Not an overreaction. Todd Bowles is 4, Rich.
All right.
Year 5 coming in Tampa here. Only 2 games over 500. Only 1 playoff win. Could potentially have been ousted after last year. I think if they don't win the division this year and maybe they're under 500 again, we might see some change in Tampa. But Todd Bowles is on the hot seat this season.
Well, I mean, since that happens almost every year, where he's rumored to be on the hot seat.
I know.
But he's still there, man.
He's still there.
Let's see.
And he does a great job. I love it when he gets a little fiery in the post-game pressers.
I don't think that's an overreaction either. But what else you got?
Rich, number 3. Yes. We love this guy. Man Campbell. Dan Campbell is on the hot seat.
What the what?
Year 6 coming up for Dan Campbell. You believe that? In Detroit, only 2-2 in the playoffs. I thought we would have had another NFC Championship game, maybe a Super Bowl run in them. I think it's kind of, and with the Bears coming on, and we don't know what Minnesota's going to look like.
Okay.
And obviously Green Bay is right there.
All right.
Big year for Dan Campbell.
All right. I don't think that's an overreaction either. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, we'll see how the season plays out. We'll see how it plays out, but I would be surprised. I mean, the first 2 you've mentioned have already been rumored to have been, on a hot seat already this offseason, but both survived.
Yeah, both survived. I could be wrong on all 5 of these guys.
All right, what else you got?
Just saying, hot seat. Number 2, Nick Sirianni, Rich Eisen.
That's crazy.
Nick Sirianni.
What hot seat is he on?
The Philadelphia's on a constant hot seat.
Everyone
there's on the hot seat.
He
might get blamed.
George Seifert had a better first 5-year start than this guy.
He might get blamed for the Sixers getting swept. I don't know.
Maybe so.
I don't know what's going on.
New York fans too loud for him in the facility. I don't know, dude.
I need to see this team play the last time they played a full season and beginning to end, they won the Super Bowl. So what is happening in the years where, they look great for the first half of the year, lackluster finish, one and done in the playoffs? If that happens again, I think the conversation around his seat being hot will
I disagree.
Just boil over.
I think that's an overreaction. What do you got for number 1? Who's number 1?
Last one, Rich Eisen, Zach Taylor. in Cincinnati.
I hear
you. It's year 8 coming up for him.
Yeah.
Only, he's had a good run. Obviously, they go to the Super Bowl 24-27 in the last 3 years. You got a quarterback who maybe, I'm not going to say he doesn't want to be there, right? But he has given some comments post game in the last few years where it's like, that was interesting.
I just looked it up.
That was interesting.
I looked it up though.
What is he owed? Are you looking at his money?
I looked it up.
You looked at his contract?
His contract's through the 2027 season. They don't fire people to. They don't pay people to not work for them ever.
You know what they also don't do?
That's how, as you know.
You know what they also don't do? They don't pay for anything. They get naming rights on the stadium.
I get it.
They don't trade first-round picks. They go get Sexy Dexy. You know what I mean?
He makes apparently $4.5 million a year.
That's nothing.
Dude.
That's nothing.
Nothing.
That's
Mike Brown drop.
That's throw another sponsor.
You got the Mike Brown drop every single time that whenever somebody gets paid. It's like the white smoke. It's the audio white smoke for Mike Brown. You open up the wallet, and that's how you know. Like this is the reason why they are not there. There it is. It just makes you.
Man,
I know.
Like nails on a chalkboard.
I know the Velcro wallet. They're not firing him.
Really?
Yeah, really. It's got to be particularly bad though.
They go 6-11. And Joe doesn't finish the year again.
Or Joe's not happy.
Or Joe's just like, what are we doing?
I know. Okay.
They're giving
Do
up
you have
40
one more?
points. I don't have one more. That's it. That's it.
Just trying to sit here. Do I have one more?
Well, my other one more was like Mike Vrabel, but you know what I mean. There's.
By the way,
we don't know.
We do not know what is going on.
We don't know.
It keeps on churning and photographs and news stories and whatever.
I'm kind of open for ready.
I don't know.
Preparing myself for anything.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you finishing up with a different way.
Top
All right,
5.
Christopher, well done.
Thanks.
Well done on an Overreaction Monday.
Let's do it.
Presented by PayPal. We appreciate everybody taking in this program. Stay tuned to the flagship show all week long as the schedule one game after another starts trickling in. We have 2 Cowboy games. But we know of already, week 1 is the opener between the Giants, Cowboys hosting the Giants hosting the Cowboys. We already know the Ravens and the Cowboys are playing week 3 down in Brazil.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
So on Monday's Rich Eisen Show, we're going to have TJ Jefferson have a two game.
I said 2 games.
A 2-game win-loss contest.
That's amazing.
One is just a conversation. 2 is a win-loss.
We should definitely
it's already in the rundown. You don't even know that. Yeah, it's happening. All right, for Chris, I'm Rich. Thanks. Well, by the way, that was a very
thanks for nothing.
That was a very Caddyshack way of ending this edition of Overreaction Monday, presented by PayPal. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.